Well, good morning and welcome to lesson 25 of A Course in Miracles. We're halfway through. I'm using the white edition, which you can get on Amazon, or just Google it. A Course in Miracles white edition. It's in two parts, Book A and Book B, and you'll need both parts if you don't have a copy of the course now. If you already have the blue book or a sparkly book or something like that, then you can just get part A, which is the revised text. And I won't go into that now on this video, but we'll get on to lesson 25, which is our halfway point in these first 50 lessons that we're endeavouring to do together. And lesson 25 is I do not know what anything is for, right? Which is a completely accurate statement. We don't know what anything's for, and we make it up, give it a meaning, and we live according to the meaning that we've given things, never stopping to ask whether that meaning is actually true or not. And I have a little story that I like to tell in relationship to that, a little analogy that if you were to take a travel trip to, let's say, Thailand or somewhere where you don't speak the language, you don't know the customs, any of that sort of stuff, and you go along and you see some processions or some rituals or celebrations and different things like that, you don't really know what you're looking at unless somebody tells you. And without that somebody tells you, we tend to still formulate ideas in our minds of what we're seeing and tell ourselves that it's so. Oh, I saw this procession of something and they had a Buddha thing, therefore it must have been a Buddhist procession. But do we know really, do we know for sure, for fact? And do we know that about anything in our lives? We just make it up as we go along. People call me Dave, that's my name. But I think that's just something that my parents made up. That's a joke, but it's kind of funny. It kind of accurately describes what this lesson is saying. I do not know what anything is for. Purpose is meaning. Today's idea explains why nothing you see means anything. You do not know what it is for. Therefore, it is meaningless to you. Everything is for your own best interests. That is what it is for. That is its purpose. That is what it means. It is in recognizing this that your goals become unified. It is in recognizing this that what you see is given meaning. You perceive the world and everything in it as meaningful in terms of ego goals. These goals have nothing to do with your own best interests because the ego is not you. The false identification. This false identification makes you incapable of understanding what anything is for. As a result, you are bound to misuse it. When you believe this, you will try to withdraw the goals you have assigned to the world. When you believe this, you will try to withdraw the goals you have assigned to the world instead of attempting to reinforce them. Right? Whew, thankfully. Another way of describing the goals you now perceive as valuable is to say that they are all concerned with personal interests. Since you have no personal interests, your goals are really concerned with nothing. In cherishing them, therefore, you have no goals at all, and thus you do not know what anything is for. Right, that's just straight at you. If you value it for yourself alone, if you have personal interests in it, then you are not inclusive of the whole and you are keeping yourself separate from everything, and therefore you have fallen into that meaninglessness, right? Which is why we feel empty inside, because we're not serving the greater good. We're not in the flow of the universal grace, if you want to call it that, or God's grace. And we're what would you call it? We're out of the loop. And thus you do not know what anything is for. Before you can make any sense out of the exercises for today, one more thought is necessary. At the most superficial levels, you do recognize purpose, yet purpose cannot be understood at these levels. For example, you do understand that a telephone is for the purpose of talking to someone who is not physically in your immediate vicinity. What you do not understand is what you want to reach him for. And it is this that makes your contact with him meaningful or not. And anyone who's ever had one of those conversations with somebody that just goes around and around in circles, and how's the weather, and how are you, and, you know, pointless, meaningless, mindless mumble jumble that we just talk about all day, every day. And what's the purpose of it? What for? You know, what you do not understand is what you want to reach him for, right? Jesus is telling you, you don't understand what you want to reach that person for, why you feel like reaching out and connecting with that person, because the ego gets in the way and puts this superficial veneer of, what would you call it, where you're not particularly intimate on a deeper level, you know, this pointless back and forth, you know. It is crucial to your learning to be willing to give up the goals you have established for everything. It is crucial to your learning to be willing to give up the goals you have established for everything. And you probably don't even realize that these goals are in place, right? You haven't yet had that light bulb moment, perhaps, wherein you go, oh my God, I'm doing this to myself. Oh my God, I'm sabotaging my own best interests in this situation. You know? And it's like when you realize that, then you'll be able to, you know, it is crucial to your learning that you be willing to give up the goals you have established for everything. The recognition, right, which is what we were just saying, that they are meaningless rather than good or bad is the only way to accomplish this. The idea for today is a step in this direction. 6 practice periods, each of 2 minutes. So you've got 12 minutes worth of practice today. 6 practice periods, each of 2 minutes duration, are required. Each practice period should begin with a slow repetition of the idea for today, followed by looking about you and letting your glance rest on whatever happens to catch your eye near or far, important or unimportant, human or unhuman. With your eyes resting on each subject, you so select. Say, for example, I do not know what this chair is for. I do not know what this pencil is for. I do not know what this hand is for. Say this quite slowly without shifting your eyes until you have completed the statement. Then move on to the next subject and apply today's idea as before. So pretty simple. It's very much like the first lessons, where you just simply glance around and, you know, I do not know what that gate is for. I do not know what this sign behind me is for. I do not know what that swimming pool is for. I do not know what that plant is for. I do not know what that rock is for. You know, just casually, just don't rush it, you know. And there is an extra practice period today, and if you find that your day is so busy that you can't fit that in, just remind yourself of your purpose. Right? My purpose is the retraining of my mind. What is more important to me than that? Surely this, whatever it is that I'm involved in, can wait 2 minutes. It's not much to ask, but then you get to see in everything, how much do I value the gift of this that I'm giving to myself? How much do I value putting effort into healing my mind of my false beliefs, healing my mind of these associations of temporal living that are keeping me in limitation and lack, you know? So lesson 25, I do not know what anything is for. And that's our halfway mark. So tomorrow, lesson 26, my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability, which is a really incredible lesson. Can't wait to get to that one. All right, and I'll see you then. That's about it. Bye.